The pilot cull of badgers in Gloucestershire has fallen well short of its target to remove 70% of the population. Well, the Environment Secretary Owen Paterson announced yesterday that despite extending the culling period, 40% of badgers have been shot. Well, despite both pilots failing to reach the 70% threshold, Mr Paterson's written statement to the Commons said that the pilots had prepared the ground for a fully effective 4-year cull and had been successful. I asked the President of the National Farmers Union, Peter Kendall, what had prevented the cull companies shooting the required number of badgers.
There's a whole myriad of different issues occurring in Somerset to Gloucester. In Somerset, to start with, the lack of badgers meant that hitting the targets has been incredibly difficult. I think there was a time when protester activity just slows down the operation. It doesn't stop the operation. So there are big areas, we can go other places, we can carry on the culling, but because of safety concerns, it does slow the process down.
Well, the target was 70% of badgers in the cull to be shot. Do you still have confidence that free shooting is the way forward after these results?
We always want to keep an open mind as the best possible method of controlling badgers. So a combination of whatever measures are deemed acceptable are what we should be considering, because we do know that we want to remove as many badgers as we can in as short a period of time as possible. So we don't want to restrict ourselves too much. And what I'm saying at this moment in time is I don't want to be too specific as to what that might look like in any rollout or extension of the culls for years 2, 3 and 4.
Originally, that 70% was set as a target because the science said that getting to 70% would actually minimise the risk of the surviving badgers moving to new social groups and therefore spreading the disease even further. Do you have any concerns that not reaching that target then might make the situation worse for farmers now?
Would we have liked to have got more badgers in the initial 6-week period? Yes, of course we would. But, and I think Nigel Gibbons, the chief vet in DEFRA, believes that we'll still have a positive impact.
Even though it was less than 40% for the Gloucestershire?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. Because even in the RBCT trials, 3 of the 10 areas only got around 35% in the first year, and they still showed a reduction of incidence of TB. At this moment in time, there's an awful lot of interpretation, reflection on what has gone on the ground, and lessons to be learned.
You mentioned looking at alternatives or different ways of controlling badgers, and we've heard calls from farmers on this programme that gassing should be looked at again as a means of culling. Would you possibly look at that for years 3 or 4?
Look, I've heard lots of people talk about all sorts of different methods. And, I've heard people within government speculating about how we might remove the badgers in future. I just think we need to make sure that the science, the regulation framework allows the methods that we want to use. But I can understand why for farmers it is very appealing. What we don't want to do is have a system that then causes a judicial review and then we find that method being removed.
Peter Kendall, President of the National Farmers Union. That's all from us today. I'm Anna Hill. The producer in Bristol was Sarah Swadling.